What excites you about this season, and in particular this defense? There's a lot of external excitement about your group and the coaches that are coaching you guys.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. The coaches, that came in this year, I think all of them from top to bottom. Scheme-wise, obviously, it's super exciting, and the stuff we get to run, the amount of pressures we're going to bring. I think that's awesome, but for me, it's the culture that they brought here, and the team within the team culture. I think that, I feel like I'm a kid again playing football, and it's so joyful every time I go out there. I'm having so much fun, so I'd say that.
How do you feel like that came about? How did that culture change happen in the last 7 months since they've been here?
Yeah, it was a lot. I think adversity is the main thing. A lot of challenges that we had to face as a team, and when you're able to go through that together, you really get to connect and get close. And I think that's exactly what guys have done. And guys have realized, more and more as this year has gone on, the importance of this season, but how special we are and how talented we are and what we can possibly do with this. And I think guys are really starting to realize that. And then you see that energy start to build and momentum start to build. And I know we haven't even jumped into fall camp yet, but you can feel it. You can feel it already.
What's it going to mean to you to wear number 4?
I don't even know if I can put that into words. It's always been my number since I was a kid, and getting to wear it again. I actually got to, was able to wear it. Figured out I was able to wear it just a couple of days before, Spencer passed, and so it kind of felt like it all aligned for me. And this is obviously my last season. So it's really special, and it feels like I get to play with him.
What do you tell the young guys in your position room about just what they'll experience in their first fall camp? Tips on just how to prepare their body and mind and get the playbook in.
Yeah, fall camp is it's going to be a grind no matter what. There's nothing you could do to escape that. It's going to be hard, but you got to go through it, and I think that's the main thing. I think the main thing I've been telling guys is excuse my language, get your ass to bed. Go to sleep. Drink as much water as you can. This should be like a job now. We have no school for a long time. You got to put all your focus into this and getting your body right every single day.
When you watch Dan Lanning's defense from last season and how historic that Georgia team was, what excites you the most about what you've seen from that and maybe implementing into what you guys are doing now?
Yeah. They're obviously, Georgia, that team was super talented with, however many guys went in the draft, 16 guys. I think it's just so exciting to see that a coach like that, a high-level coach, especially defensive coach, wants to be here and is excited about the talent that we have coming from a place like that, and comes here and okay, we can do a lot of things. He's seen it, right? So for him to have that trust almost in us and our abilities, that is reciprocated, right? And now I feel like I have full trust in him to make the right calls, and all the defensive coaches to make the right calls and put the right players in the right positions to win games.
It's a month away still between the game against Georgia and that neutral site game, I guess, in Atlanta. Has Coach talked about what you guys are going into kind of experience there with fans right on top of you, hundreds of thousands of people? Has he talked to you guys about that at all?
Yeah, we haven't gone too far into it. Honestly, yesterday, Coach Lanning, he said, we're playing Oregon every week. We're playing Oregon today, and we're playing Oregon week 1, and we're playing Oregon week 12. And that's really what it is, right? I mean, you can't look at the opponent and play up to the opponent or play down to the opponent. And I think across college football that happens all the time. And so we have to find that consistent basis of which we can play and play at a high level. It creeps into your mind. You think about it, that's going to be exciting playing at that stadium. Not really a neutral site game, but that's all right. We'll overcome that anyways.
What are some of your goals and expectations this year?
Got a long list right there. Personally, I feel I've always felt underrated a little bit. And obviously last season I didn't get to fully prove what I could do. So, my ultimate goal is to help this team and be the leader that this team needs to go win a national championship. And personally, there's all types of stat lines I want to hit, 10 interceptions. I want to get this many tackles. But honestly, if I don't, my personal stats aren't that great and we continue to win, and then I have, absolutely no problem. And that makes me more excited. Like this year, I was telling the team the other day how this is the first time I felt like I'm playing for the guy next to me. Like I really want this team to do well, and it's not just me, or like thinking about, okay, I want to get to the league, I want to do this, And this is the first time I genuinely felt that I'm playing for something bigger than me, and so I think that's the ultimate goal this year is to win a national championship. And it's we're a young team, first year coaching staff, right? So a lot of people wouldn't think that this could happen this year, but I think it could be really special.
Noah brought that up as
The
well.
amount of people that, you're playing for each other, but wearing the number 4, that's got to add just a whole another level to everything, right?
Yeah, it's definitely made this feel a lot more special. But at the end of the day, it's football, and I think the team that is going to be the most, connected and play the hardest from start to finish, I think is going to get it done. So whatever number, it's special, but with still football, I got to get out there and play.
Noah
Last
brought
year
up
with the injury that you sustained, and that was very difficult, but the way you began the season, your ability to sniff out the football, what do you attribute that to in your whole background in your career?
Just being around the game since I was a kid. I think naturally I had have a inclination to play football, since I was a baby. My dad played, at Cal. Like we don't like to say that, but he played at Cal and played a little bit in the NFL. But since I was a kid, I can remember playing in the living room and him tackling me and running around and having the ball in my hands. And so when your whole life has been subjected to that, I think it just becomes so natural. And that's the way I feel now. Like I'm kind of in a flow. You know what I'm saying? Where everything is just happening around me. I don't have to think too much because I know what's coming to me.
You mentioned the leadership aspect of it. Do you feel like you're stepping a little bit into Verone's shoes and what he sort of left behind in terms of his leadership aspect?
Yeah, Verone was obviously the leader, the general back there in the backfield. In a way, I feel like I'm stepping into his role, but I think that all of us are taking that role. We're sharing that load, and that's what you want to see, right? Like you want one guy. There's obviously going to be a few leaders that step up, maybe are more vocal, but we're all taking the leadership load together, I think, and that makes me so excited because I like knowing that both corners and safeties and even backups that come in, everybody can take control and knows kind of what they're doing at any given spot, I think is pretty special.
Do you think that the get reels and the connection of this team sort of help that everyone can be a leader aspect?
Absolutely. And we have another one today. I'm kind of excited for it. I saw on the schedule. Yeah, I think those are the most kind of invaluable skills that people don't really think about very much, but that makes up, I think, more than your physical talent. Like you have to have it up there, and I think training guys, especially the younger guys, to realize that a little earlier instead of have to go through it through trial and error and experience. And now your fourth year, you're finally stepping into this leadership role. I think guys can, pick that up early, and that now you see from top to bottom, guys, having accountability and taking care of what they need to do, rather than pointing fingers and blaming. So I've seen a lot of improvement in that aspect.
Do you feel like you have more connection and trust with your teammates this year because of that camaraderie compared to previous?
Yeah, I would say so. Along with, going through adversity, like I mentioned earlier, that has, got us to connect a lot more. But this is the closest a team has ever felt that I've ever been on.
What's a healthy Justin Flo mean for this defense?
That man is a different breed. I love the kid. He is going to be special. His energy is unmatched, absolutely unmatched. And then you see, his physical stature is incredible, and he moves around just with such intensity, and that brings so much intensity to our team and our defense and fires us up. Kind of like our spirit animal, if you want to put it that way. We just got to make sure that he, keeps that level head and hones in on what he has to do and knows what he has to do each play. And then you let him loose, knowing that he knows what he's doing. It's going to be scary for a lot of offenses this year.
Leadership has come up quite a bit today. You work physically getting better in communication skills, though. I'm wondering, how do you guys work? How do you practice communication skills? Because that's so critical during the game.
Yeah, that's been the emphasis. Honestly, all summer and even these past few days doing walkthroughs and stuff. And that's where it is, like walkthrough, it's like every call, everything has to be put on film, like signals wise, and we have to make sure that, I'm saying the signal and he signals it back to me to know. And like if it's not on film, then we're gonna get chewed out, the next film session. And so we're putting an emphasis and overemphasizing that to make sure, when it comes game time, it feels like it's seamless, like we don't have to think about it, and that's when a defense is on the same page and playing fast together. It's a scary sight.
Do you have a particular competition going on?
Yeah, I've seen he's making all these watch lists and stuff, preseason, and it's so good to see. It's awesome to see, and he's poised to have a big year, I think, this year. We're trying to go, in the same draft class, have the same draft party. That would be so. I mean, that's the dream, right? That would be so awesome. But there's no competition. I mean, like I always tell him, I'm going to get drafted higher than him. It's just, brotherly competition. But I want to see him do as well as he possibly can, just as I know he would want to see me.
Is there a guy on this?
The identity of this team is going to be that because you're one of the seniors. Something like 3 or 4 of you though transferred in. Cam's been here literally forever, and 4 guys are offensive linemen, and obviously Carson also on long-standing linemen. So by way of identity, like 7 of the 11 of you are either offensive or defensive line, and like I say, yourself in the secondary. What do you think the identity of the team will be more about? Like, is this an offensive line-led team?
Naturally, I would lean to say, it's defensively led. I mean, obviously because of the coaches. But it is player led. That's the main thing. Like we are taking control, and I've seen that, especially as this season has gone on. And Coach Lanning is emphasizing that it's got to be you guys. It can't be us. And so you see, I think you see it from both sides. And like Bo Nix, transferring in, he's been taking just great command of the offense. And with that paired with the offensive line leaders we have, I think offense is going to be really, really good this year. And then defense, we have them, spotted all across. So to answer your question, I think, our identity is going to be a player-led team, and it's going to really be up to us. But that's how it always is, right? It always comes down to, when you get later in the season, it always comes down to, can the players, get your guys ready? Have you gotten them ready? Your whole team and all that. So I think, we definitely are a player-led team. I think it's going to be exciting to see.
Is there a guy you're excited to see play on your team this year?
A lot of guys. One that comes to mind, probably Chase Cota. I can't wait to see what he can do. I know he showed a lot in spring. Never really has put up big numbers throughout his career, whatever it is, but he's just got a dog in him. Every time he goes up, it's that quiet, kind of reserved, never going to talk about himself, but when he comes out there to compete, he's the ultimate competitor. So I'm excited to see what he can do this year.